Hey everybody, I think we'll make a start to it. Um, yeah, so you're all very welcome to this memorial concert that we've hosted for the last couple of years. It's a little bit different this year. Generally, this involves a bunch of people being crammed into the upstairs of the Long Valley with about 60 or 70 of us, and there's barely enough room to breathe. So this is a little bit different. But nonetheless, I hope it's going to be a nice night and still be as magical and warm as it always is. So there's a couple of reasons that we've been doing this for the last couple of years. Obviously enough, at the center of it all, it's a way of commemorating and celebrating the life of Eoin Murray, who's a really dear friend to a lot of us, who passed away about 6 years ago now. And yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that it's been over half a decade since he passed, but I think it's a really strong testament to him that there's still so many people that get together and they show up, and we can still let his memory live on in these little ways that we can. So that's kind of one side of it. And then the second side of it is that a few years ago, a couple of us got together, and with the help of UCC, we set up the Eoin Murray Memorial Scholarship as well. The point behind it was that Eoin was an incredibly passionate and driven writer, and there's no doubt that if he was still alive today, that there would have been a body of work that he would have been contributing towards. So this scholarship was a way of being able to help that live on, that we'd be able to support writers in UCC as a way of being able to support them to spend a little bit of time writing and to write in Eoin's stead, in a sense. So the scholarship works that we generally, we have found funding for one exceptional writer every single year for the last nearly 4 years now. And yeah, so the idea is just that we can support creative writers, young creative writers, in their creative writing endeavors. This year is a little bit different in another way, that we're going to have two scholars that are going to be presenting. We have at the first half we'll have Alana Daly Mulligan that's going to be performing, as well as Maeve Joy McTaggart as well, who'll be performing towards the end. So that's the 2020 and the 2021 scholars. Yeah, and so this has been all really as a big thanks to UCC, and Claire Connolly has been a really great help as well this year with moving forward the scholarship. So a really big thanks to you, Claire. Yeah, so that's kind of a summary of the night. We're going to have performances from the scholars, as well as people who Eoin was, he was in many bands over the course of his life. So we're going to have a couple of people playing and people that he was really close to as well. Yeah, so that's kind of a summary of it. As well, I just want to give a bit of a shout out. I know that they weren't able to make the call as well today, but the scholarship wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for a lot of donors and funders over the course of the last few years. And even though there was a very big push at the start, just last month, and very fittingly on Eoin's anniversary, there were two guys, Tara Namor and Ali McDermott Smith, who ran an Ironman as a way of funding the scholarship. And an Ironman, if none of you are aware, if anyone's aware, an Ironman is a serious endeavor in itself. It's the equivalent of swimming around the loch 5 times, cycling pretty much the entire way from Cork to Dublin, and then running a marathon. So like that by itself is unreal. And then they managed to raise like €3,000 for the scholarship on top of that. So it's really awesome. So yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to those two guys for the great work they've done. Yeah, so that's that. I'll pass it over to my good buddy Rob Carlisle, and he'll be emceeing the music part of this night.